Basically, I want to just show how to program or first of all, I want to show how to program a lens file, because I think that's quite important. And it's not really difficult. So you go to the menu, go to lens data, lens programming, create a lens file. Yeah, for a lens, like, you can imagine it's any kind of lens now. This particular lens we already have in the lens data archive of the camera, so I really don't have to program it, but let's imagine it's an engineer zoom. So I would go to create a lens file, new lens, calibrate motors. I can skip that because I just calibrated the motors. Next thing, I select the brand. So I would say maybe a Arri AZ, and I can toggle through very quickly here with my thumb control. AZ for Allura zoom. I can select the focal length. Here in that case I say it's a zoom. Serial number, let's just pretend it's serial number 123. Okay. I can select if it's a metric or imperial scale. In that case it's imperial. And now I have the three axes here, focus, zoom and iris, and I'm going to program them. I'm gonna do some shortcuts here to save time. I could theoretically program in all the data points, but I will skip some now. So I go to focus. It tells me to set infinity, so I set the focus to infinity. Select. Now it tells me to set the close focus, and it suggests 2 feet. Now for this lens, it starts with the 4 feet, so I dial in 4 feet. Okay. Next thing is suggest 4 feet 1 inch. I just skip some, make 4.5 feet. Again, the more you make, the more precise it gets later, but if you have more than 10 data points, it should usually be enough. So next one here I've set is 5 feet. Let's say 5.5. 6. I'm a bit out of parallax, but I think this is more important to see how it works than to see my top of my head in the camera. So 7. 8. Going to 10. 15. It's very exciting, isn't it? 20. I cannot even make a joke now with those numbers. 30. 50. And of course, if you made such an effort to create that file, you can share it with your friends. If he gets a lens or she, say, hey, I did that file already, take it, use it. 200. That's a good thing if you have a file and it's not just sitting inside the handset, you know. Okay, finish. So that was the focus scale. I'm going to do the zoom. It asked me to set the wide side of the zoom. Suggest 20, but it's starting 45, so I go to 45. Now I go through. 60. I skip some to be faster. 80. The zoom is sometimes really not linear, so it's better to make more points here. 100. 120. 140. It's good in the suggestions. 60. 180. 200 and 250. Okay, now the iris tells me to set open iris, suggest 2, I go to 2.6, 2.8, 4, 5, 6, 8, 11, 16, and 22. Okay, now I say save to SD card. I have the chance now, you know, it automatically generated a name now, Arri AZ45-250 with the serial number 123. I can edit it now if I want to give it a nickname or whatever. I don't do that now. I press save. It's saving it on the SD card. It's asking me, would you like to map another lens? If I have many, I could say yes. In this case, I say no, I'm ready. Now that file is on the SD card. As I said, we work on doing that wireless, but at the moment you now have to transfer that manually to the camera. And you put it in. You go to lens data archive, add, and again add because you're adding the one from the SD card. Here it is, I select it. So now it's in the custom folder. Now I can use it and adding it to my favorites list. And I get my lens data on the screen. Not only on the screen, but also on this screen. So now there's still one thing. It's all fitting. So I go to 10 inch on my screen. I'm 10 feet on my lens. Same as for the iris. I go to, for example, 2.8. It's matching and so on. But what is not matching at the moment is a pre-marked focus ring. So to make that match, so you see here for example, I'm at 10 feet on my lens data screen and on the lens, but I'm below 10 feet on my pre-marked focus ring. That is because I didn't tell my hand unit which pre-marked focus ring I have here. It doesn't have eyes, it doesn't know it. So I have to go to the menu, pre-marked focus ring. In this case, I have the one starting at 3.5 feet. So I go to pre-marked focus ring, select the 3.5 feet one, and now it's all matching. So now really I have the same value on my pre-marked focus ring, like on the lens data screen, like on my camera. It's all identical. And the system is really, the data is generated here. And from here is captured with the images. It's shown on the monitor output. It's shown on the screen here. It's shown on the screen here. So it's all identical. Now if you want to use the lens data in post-production, because you really want to use it for VFX production maybe, it's helpful to know that I'm not having just a black box recording anything, because the AC, if he's using the lens data with a sensor, already is like a quality control. If it wouldn't be correct, you would immediately realize it and correct it. So that's the advantage of that whole system. You might realize that if you're moving very fast somehow, there seems to be a delay on the display. Your finger can move faster than the motor. That's the reason. So what you're seeing here actually on the display, that's the real position of your motor, of your lens. So even if your motor is stuck or your lens is stuck or whatever, you don't see it, you see the real position here. So it's really a consistent system. Now if we would have the UDM1 here, or a CINE tape, then we could also do the focus tracking, of course. Press that button and then the focus motor would drive to the measured value. That's basically it. It might now be that you have your lens file for that lens, you use it from time to time. Now your lens maybe gets to service and gets a bit adjusted, and you get it back and you realize there's an offset. Or it might be that you have already made a lens table for that lens in the past, and you get another lens like that, but with a different serial number. Now it might be that the scale of that lens the numbers are the same, but the spread is a bit different because it's a different lens. Same type, but different serial number. You don't have to do everything from scratch. You can, again, put that lens file on the SD card, put it in your handset, go to lens data, lens programming, and say edit lens file. Go here. Now it will list all the lens files that are on the SD card. In my case now it's the one I just programmed. I can select it. I can go to one of those axes. I have my data points that I programmed already in here. Now if I have that new lens, or that lens that came from service, I might see there's an offset now. I'm going here to 20, and I'm not really at 20. Let's pretend it's like that. So I have 3 different ways to correct that offset. The first way would be if you have the same lens and your scale is just a bit moved like offset, you can move the whole scale. So in that case, you would press offset. While you keep it pressed, you move your lens scale, and you release. Now you have just corrected the offset. It might as well be that all the numbers are a bit off there, almost, but not really 100%. If you know my funny German English explanations. So in that case, we have the snap function. So I'm almost, so let's pretend my lens now here. I'm going to go to 30 on my lens, 30 feet. I've put such a big offset. Let me correct that a bit. Go to 30. So let's say I go now to 30 on my lens. I see here I'm a bit off, but I'm next to 30. I can press snap, and now the data point is just jumping there. So I go from point to point. Here's a bit off, but almost snap. A bit off, but almost snap. Or if it's really bad offset, I could not only snap, I could say slide. So I grab that data point, and I'm sliding it where I want it to be. So after I can do that with all axis focus, I assume, correct my lens scale, adjust it, edit it, and then go back and save it. And then now I might want to go, okay, right? It's the same lens, but maybe with another serial number, so I would give it another serial number. Go to override mode, for example, and it's not 1, 2, 3, but 1, 2, 4 in that case. I can save it with that new name, new serial number, that's it. So you can create lens files, you can edit lens files, you can build up your own lens data archive. You think for a rental house, it's great. A rental house has all its lenses. You can do a lens file for every lens. One time, focus puller can just check it, double check it during prep, make some small adjustments if he needs to or she, and then save some time like this. So it's not really that lens data means much work and you always have to do it. You have to do it once, and when you have it, you can work with it. And have all the 4 benefits I told you already. Thank you.
Thank you.